Hey, how's it going, guys? This is Tom from UDS with another edition of UDS Interviews, our series where we chat to interesting people from around the world. Now, my guest this week is a member of a band that kind of sit at the crossroads of many punk and metal genres. They tackle personal, evocative themes while producing huge, abrasive anthems that'll send you headfirst into the pit. In their short time as a band, they've already carved out a reputation for their frenetic live shows, and now their long-awaited debut EP is almost here. It is my pleasure to introduce, from arguably the most handsomest band performing today, Nick from NEWMEDS.
I could have died at 23 because the devil can never keep his hands off me. But now I know there is no heaven. There's no
Wow, that was amazing. Can you come on stage with us and introduce us every time?
I would love to be your hype man. I would love that. But how are you doing in these strange times that we live in? And they're real strange this week for sure.
Yeah, it's weird, man. I mean, other than the band, me and the drummer, we have a bar that was a live music venue before March. So it's just been stranger and stranger as time's gone on, to be honest, constantly adapting. And I don't know, it's kind of challenging, which we like, but sometimes obviously quite frustrating. So we're locking up on Wednesday again, obviously, and then we're back to square one. So we're not too scared this time. We're excited. We're trying to see it as like a positive thing. We're trying to think of things we can do to improve the venue instead of thinking about how bad the world is at the moment.
Well, that's the way to do it. I mean, working in music and in effectively hospitality, that is like a double whammy blow right there. So I guess all you can do is try and sort of make the best of the situation.
Yeah, man, completely. Last lockdown, we basically turned the venue into a kind of more like a coffee shop, just that we could take all the furniture out of when we come back to doing live music. So that's what we did last time, and that's what's kept us going up until now is the coffee. So.
I mean, the coffee keeps me going on a daily basis, so I can very much relate to that. But obviously, we're all friends here. And the way I like to get to know my friends a little bit better is asking the hard-hitting questions. And that is, if you were a type of sandwich, what kind of sandwich would you say best represents you as a person?
Oh, my God. I'm pretty straightforward and plain with things. So I'd probably just say a bacon sarnie with a bit of ketchup just to, and light in the morning, I guess.
Absolutely.
Get the morning going.
I mean, you sound delicious, so that's a winner in my book. But I suppose we should talk about music as well. And that is your debut EP, Nothing Is Heavier Than the Mind. It drops in just under 2 weeks, releasing November 13th, if I've got my dates correct. What can people expect from this release?
It's just the truth. That's what we always do. Write with passion and write with energy. When we originally started as a band, we were more of we aimed to just be a studio project because we didn't have much time. But as soon as we got into a practice room together, we knew the energy was way bigger than just recorded music. So I think everyone should kind of expect just to hear the truth, to hear passion. We don't sort of skip around corners. We say what we mean. Basically, my lyrics are always about real life situations and. What's going on in our lives and what's going on in the world, and we don't censor anything. So just the truth, really.
So that's really interesting because looking at the latest single that's already released, 23, you talk about sort of dealing with personal issues and the truth. This song deals with your own struggles with Crohn's disease, but also links to sort of how the mindless consumption of humanity can poison not only ourselves, but the planet around us. And I thought this was just a really interesting connection. And I wanted to know whether or not this is something that's sort of been mulling around in your head for a while, or if it's sort of something that came about while you were writing the song.
No, I think it's with most of the music, I tend to write the lyrics after we've completed the music. It wasn't something that I had beforehand this time. It was just an observation of the world, really. It's as daft as it sounded. Every time you go to a supermarket, you can grab whatever you want without having to order it, and it just seemed like really surreal. It was kind of like a step back moment. As daft as it sounds, you can go and pick up a packet of meat or whatever you want from the supermarket, and it seems like there's something wrong in completely. I'm not a vegan, I'm not vegetarian or anything like that, but it just seems like we take for granted how much we use in the world, and how easy it is to get hold of things. I think that's pretty much what the song sums up.
I mean, it's absolutely true. I mean, it's probably the scariest thing about the human race in general, is that we have the capacity to make things better, not just for ourselves, but for everything else. But we just don't, through convenience and through just sort of force of habit. And I think that sense of sort of frustration about it definitely comes through in the music. But obviously you guys have not just sort of played as part of NEWMEDS, you've all got quite the pedigree of playing in the scene. So between that and playing as NEWMEDS, have you got any crazy tour stories that you can share with the world, whether they be funny, safe for work, not safe for work, whatever you want, it all goes here.
Oh man, Mark would have been better speaking to you about this, really. Brody was in Drowners, a band from America, our drummer. He was once at a party with Bruce Willis's daughter in a hot tub, and some stuff went on, as far as I know.
Oh my word!
I don't know exactly what. I'm not going to go any further into that. Myself, I was more. This is the first band I've been in for about 10 years. So,
oh wow!
I mean, I only did. I did like a 14-day tour with my old band, but this I'm talking when I was like literally turned 18. And we went to Germany for a couple of weeks. There wasn't really anything too crazy then. It was just kid stories, just getting drunk and sleeping on skate parks and stuff like that. So, yeah, I think the other guys would have probably been better to speak to you about that. I'll try and find out and get back to you.
But looking to the past, to the future, if nothing was off the cards in terms of budget, lockdown, anything like that, if you could play any stage or any country in the world, what would it be?
I'm just going to start small right now, because like we've all done like good things with our bands in the past, but like right now I'm just thinking, we like the first festival that I ever went to was Leeds Reading, and I just because of seeing bands that I still listen to now play there and look up to them as like a young kid, the first time I got to go to a festival, I would just do Leeds Reading to start with. Don't want to look too far ahead, because that's kind of what we go for, is just like aim towards the smaller stages and go from there. Obviously the big one would be like Sonosphere and Download and stuff like that, but at the moment we just want to get back to playing and be even like smaller stages at festivals. Like just the ultimate dream being obviously this year not having any festivals at all to play and not having any festivals to go to. So I've just been sat here sort of procrastinating about just working as hard as we possibly can this year to get on even like the introducing stages and stuff like that at the smaller festivals, and then we'll maybe go from there.
Absolutely. I mean, from personal experience as just a punter, it's normally at those smaller stages that you get the more sort of engaged audience, because the people are really there to see you, and they normally have the best response. But even from, just a gig goer, man, like the withdrawal symptoms of not actually seeing any live music for the past, over 6 months now, it's crazy. So I can't imagine how difficult it is, not only to be in a band in that situation, but to be sitting on a new body of music and not being able to take it on the road. Yeah, man, definitely.
It's a weird one. You kind of look forward to that as a band. It's one of the main things. You write the songs you get hyped about them in a practice room, and then you go and record them, and then you release them, and you're like, right, everyone's got to see them live now, and then we haven't had that first chance to play them yet. So yeah,
well, hopefully it'll be all the sweeter when it does happen, hopefully next year. Is there any particular song off the EP that you're most looking forward to taking on the road?
23 is the good one for us. It's like the ending is the heaviest part we've wrote, I'd say, so far. So it's got a nice little build up, and I think the lyrics in the bridge hopefully will be quite a crowd enhancer. I like get them going. So definitely looking forward to playing 23. We've played it in the practice room and it sounds really good, but
nice.
Obviously you can't really get too much of a feel in a dark, dingy warehouse.
Well, no. There was half a euphemism sort of played around in my head there, but I'm not going to go there. But anyway, here at UDS, we don't just talk about music. We talk about the breadth of pop culture. We talk about movies. We talk about video games, and we talk about my headband falling off, which apparently is a thing that's happening right now. But with that in mind, if you could have one of your songs featured in anything at all, what would it be? Whether it be a movie, game, anything at all.
I think probably a movie. I'm a big movie fan, sci-fi, and I mean, like stuff like Fight Club are some of my favourite films, and I think that's some of the things that have inspired us, like Drive, and just generally like movies in general. I guess it'd definitely be a film I'd rather go for. I think Brody, his old band, had a song on Gran Turismo, which is pretty cool.
Really?
But
wow,
yeah, man, yeah, it was a few years ago now, but. I think I'd definitely go for a film.
Yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned Drive, because I know recently, I think it was Radio 1 or something, they did a rescore of Drive where they took out the original music and put new, more contemporary bands in there. And I would love to see it with more of sort of that biting edge of sort of more hardcore punk, metal and that sort of thing, because obviously there's moments in that film which are more brutal than most other sort of mainstream films, and I'd love to see them with that sort of that cathartic music to go along with it. So I can definitely see that. But we briefly touched on it earlier, but obviously, particularly now, the rest of the year is completely up in the air, and indeed sort of going into 2021. But as best as you can, what does sort of the next few months have in store for you guys?
I think we'll just be sending ideas backwards and forwards again like we usually are. It depends obviously on whether they're going to let us sort of practice and stuff again. I can't see that it's going to be just a month again this time. The government seemed to sort of lie to us to keep us happy, get us in the lockdown period, and then smash it out for a little bit longer. So I think we'll just carry on writing. We've got some songs that we didn't start gigging until we were really happy with the set, because like I said, we were never going to be a live band until we got into a practice room. So the songs that we play are always solid songs, but we just happen to always record them. So we were in talks to get into a recording studio in January anyway, to get some ideas that we've started working on down, but I guess we'll have to see where we go from here. So who knows?
Well, hopefully, one way or the other, there'll be some new music to listen to in 2021. But for now, the last question that we always end with it's a very silly one, but it's tradition. And that is, we are Upside Down Shark. And don't ask me why we're Upside Down Shark. We thought up it many moons ago, and the meaning is just kind of been lost along the way. But with that in mind, what is your favourite shark? And it could be real, it could be fictional, it could be something from a movie or something from nature. But what would you say your favourite shark is? Yeah,
it's got to be the great white, hasn't it?
Hell yeah.
The classic great white.
I mean, it's the big boy for a reason, or girl, because, it's... I mean, you don't get more threatening than something like that, which I only found out recently they can jump out of the water as well, which is just like a whole extra layer of threatening. So, yeah.
Very terrifying, yeah. Just be sat on the beach and a great white comes out.
I wouldn't be on that beach for much longer, but very, very good choice, very good choice. Well, Nick, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you today. Thank you so much for your time. The last real question I have to ask you is, where can people find NEWMEDS online?
Instagram, new_meds. Twitter, I think went NEWMEDS1. Spotify, NEWMEDS, obviously. YouTube, everywhere. Apple Music, Google, you'll find us.
There you have it. And if you are watching at home, make sure to pick up Nothing is Heavier Than the Mind, out November 13th. We'll put a link to everything you need to know in the description below. Hit subscribe for all more interviews with creative folk from around the world and bad outros by me. And we shall catch you next time.
We're all just grains of sand, a drop in the ocean, a mix of chemicals.